It's morphin time. Pterodactyl.
Hi there, this is Tata with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing you the Wrestling Time post show. And for tonight, I'll be reviewing both AEW Rampage and Friday Night Smackdown. But let's start off with Rampage. Alright, so Rampage kicked off with Jon Moxley versus Anthony Bowens. I have to say, I really like this match. It was a good match, even though it was predictable. I think we all knew Jon Moxley was going to win. There were some parts where it was kind of like, or I think Bowens kind of no. Bowens tried to do everything in his power to win the match. He grabbed the boombox, but the ref took it from him. So props to Audrey Edwards for doing that. He even put a chain around his hand, still wasn't enough. My favorite spot in this match is when Jon Moxley sent Anthony Bowens flying over the ring, and he landed on Max Caster. I thought that was pretty funny. But like I said, we all knew Jon Moxley was going to win this match. An interesting thing, Bryan Danielson was watching this match. So they're teasing Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. That's going to be a great match, that's for sure. Then we had FTR versus Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson. This was a good match. I actually liked it. I really liked this match. FTR picking up the victory here. Then we had the TBS Championship match. It was Julia Hart versus Jade Cargill. This match was also kind of predictable because I think we all knew Jade Cargill was going to win. I don't think Julia Hart even stood a chance. And you could tell she didn't stand a chance because Jade Cargill didn't take her seriously. She was doing push-ups and sit-ups during this match. She was. So that's how you know she didn't take her seriously. Of course, Jade Cargill was victorious, and so that put her at 26-0. So I wonder who's going to beat her. I can't tell anybody. Yes, listen to Steve Callahan. Sub now, road to 400. Definitely. We had Andrade's segment when he was trying to ask Darby Allin where his boss was, and Darby Allin thought it was funny that Andrade thinks he works for Sting. So we'll see where that goes. I just hope it leads to something meaningful for Andrade, but we'll see. Then we had the main event was the AEW World Tag Team Title match. It was Jurassic Express versus Private Party. Good Rampage, 6 out of 10. Not the best Rampage. Yeah, I agree. Definitely not the best Rampage. This was a good match. I had Mark Quinn attack Luchasaurus before the start of the match. They gave the gin and juice very quickly to Jungle Boy. Private Party left the ring when Luchasaurus entered. Matt Hardy got a steel chair to Luchasaurus. Andrade was watching this match. Jurassic Express, despite all of that, ended up victorious, and then the Gun Club attacked Jurassic Express, and Jungle Boy got hit with the titles, and Billy Gunn held Luchasaurus while his sons attacked him. I have to say, like Steve Callahan said in the chat, this was not the strongest Rampage. Rampage is usually a lot stronger than Smackdown. But I have to, I'll talk more about that later. But for right now, I have to say, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 and a 6 out of 10. It wasn't the best Rampage that we've seen. Rampage last week was a lot better and a lot stronger than this week's, I will say. So now I'm going to move on to everyone's favorite show of the evening, Friday Night Smackdown. I'm just kidding. Just wanted to mess with you guys. It's not the best show of the evening. Alrighty. So Smackdown kicked off with the Charlotte segment. Steve Callahan saying Smackdown was alright. Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't too bad tonight. It was better than last week. That's for sure. So basically the gist of this segment was to do two things. To hype us up for the Royal Rumble. I see JD Mardo says, enjoy the reviews of your stuff. AEW Rampage, Dynamite, NXT, Raw, etc. I don't do NXT, but thank you. Greetings. Hi, Danny. So yeah, like I said, the whole gist of this segment was basically just to hype us up for the Royal Rumble and to get Sasha Banks to come out. Because first of all, we had Shirley come out, then Shayna Baszler came out, then Aaliyah came out, then Natty came out. You see where I'm going with this. Then Shotzi came out, Sasha Banks came out at the end. Bra breaks out. You guys know how this goes. Sasha slaps Charlotte, and Sasha Banks threw Charlotte over the top rope. Yeah, you guys know how this goes. So the way I see things, I'll talk more about this in my predictions, but like I said, the whole point was just to have Sasha come back. I don't understand why they had to do. Actually, no, I get why they did that. Again, hype us up for the Royal Rumble. Then we had Sheamus and Rich Holland versus Cesaro and Ricochet, which wasn't a bad match. It wasn't. I actually like this match. I like how Ricochet really he was impressive in this match. Of course, Ricochet's always good. He's a high flyer. But Ridge Holland and Sheamus were victorious because in the end, Ridge Holland headbutted Cesaro with the mask. So, I'll think about that. Steve says Lita wins tomorrow. We'll see. And then, okay, then we had Naomi versus Sonya Deville. This is what I feel like I need to rant a little bit. It was not a terrible match. It was actually a decent match. It was a decent match. It was not bad. And Naomi won clean. But this is a match we should have gotten since December, on the December 10th edition of SmackDown. That's a match that we should have gotten. That's a match that should have ended the rivalry. I don't understand why WWE had to extend the feud and give us this now. It was not a terrible match. It was a match that should have ended their feud, yet they continued to do the feud and they gave us this. Now, it should have been said and done, but of course, WWE, as Naomi enters the Royal, it's going to enter the Royal Rumble, and now Sonya Deville is entering the Royal Rumble. Please let this be the end of their feud. I did not care for Naomi and Sonya, blah. Again, if they have to have one more match after this, I'm not gonna care, because Naomi won. She won clean despite Sonya's best efforts. She gave Naomi a thumb to the eye. She was threatening the referee. And the referee told her he was gonna call it down the middle. Please let that be the end of the feud. We don't need to see it anymore. Then we got the InZayn segment. Steve saying, I hope not. Which was basically a podcast now. Sami Zayn podcast with a special guest, Jinder, Mahal, and Shanky. And Shanky made it to SmackDown before Veer made it to Raw. Nakamura and Rick Boogs interrupted this podcast and attacked Sami Zayn. I have to say, when is Sami Zayn going to fight Nakamura? After the Royal Rumble or on the pre-show of the Royal Rumble? Because Nakamura hasn't even... When was the last time Nakamura defended the Intercontinental title? When? This is getting old. We need to move on from that feud. But maybe Sami Zayn is right. Maybe there is a big conspiracy against him. Then we got Big E and Kofi Kingston versus Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. So, Kofi Kingston said that Big E's now officially on SmackDown, which I'm assuming is because Xavier Woods or King Woods is out indefinitely. So again, this wasn't a bad match. It wasn't. Of course, the New Day in the form of Big E and Kofi Kingston were victorious. But again, hopefully this keeps the New Day out of the title scene for a while. And so that was technically the main event, because to close the show, we had the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins face off. Seth Rollins looking like the Joker. Jinder, Shanky are just going to be cuts from the day feel, and there are more cuts coming. You're probably right. They probably are more cuts coming. And if you're new, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Main event was So, actually kind of like how they're alluding to the history here with Seth Rollins saying that he wanted to thank Roman for getting the Usos DQ'd. 5 out of 10, huh? And Roman said that it would have been embarrassing. And he says that Tribal Chief is basically God mode now. Beer's lost in a portal. Hey, I think he's gonna show up. Actually, you know what? I'll give that in predictions. So I liked how Seth Rollins referenced WrestleMania 31. I was there. I saw that cash in. I have pictures and videos of that cash in. It was an amazing moment, something I'll never forget. And then he referenced when he pinned Roman Reigns after he returned from injury. He mentioned the Shield destruction, and Rollins said that he knew what he was doing when he turned on the Shield. Veer Royal Rumble, good review as always. Oh, thanks, Steve. And then Seth went on to say that Roman has done it all except beat Seth Rollins, which is true. Roman then said that he tried to forgive Seth Rollins, but he never will, for what he did to the Shield, and that he hates him. And Rollins says that Roman is a joke, and they try to throw a punch, and that pretty much closes SmackDown. When you look at both shows, sorry, I took notes on my phone in case you guys noticed I was reading off my phone. I took notes on them. When you look at both shows, Rampage wasn't as usual strong. SmackDown was actually pretty decent tonight. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 and a 6 out of 10. As to which show was better, I honestly say I think it's a tie. I think both shows were decent. I don't think one was better than the other. I don't think one was worse than the other. So I think it's a tie between both shows. Honestly, they were both decent shows. They said Rampage had 2 predictable matches, but they were still good matches. Granted, you can say that about most of the WWE matches. SmackDown was a big improvement from last week. Last week was just a rinse and repeat of the previous week. Steve says SmackDown over Rampage. I disagree, but hey, we're allowed to agree and disagree here. Like I said, I think both shows were decent because Roman, Big E can save SmackDown. That is true, they can, but again, there is nothing really to me on Rampage that stood out, and nothing really on SmackDown that stood out. I say both shows were decent. Both shows deserve a 3. Hey, maybe if last week's Rampage went up against this SmackDown, last week's Rampage definitely would have defeated SmackDown. All right. So with that being said, AEW Mark I am. You're not the only AEW Mark I know. Trust me, you're not. So with that being said, I have to gonna do the Royal Rumble predictions. And let's start. Okay. So the WWE Championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Ooh. This is a tough one. I've gone back and forth with this one because somebody has to lose. It's either going to be Roman Reigns or it's going to be Brock Lesnar. And I have to say, it's a tough one to call. It's a tough one to call. Unless if they're going to do the title versus title match, then both Lesnar and Roman are going to win. Let's see. If Lesnar wins. Really? You guys think Lesnar's winning? I don't know. I don't know what direction they're going for. If they don't do title for title, then I honestly think Lashley would beat Lesnar just because I don't see them taking the title off Roman unless they have Brock do it. But then, I don't know. This one's tough to call. These ones are tough to call. I'm going to say Lashley. And if Lesnar wins, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Lesnar does win, though. I'm going to say Lashley. Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Again, it's kind of hard to call, but I'm going to say Roman Reigns. The Women's Royal Rumble match. If Ronda Rousey is not coming back, Steve Callahan says Roman. Michael 101591 says Mike snore down. Snore down with her. This is usual 3 out of 10. If Ronda Rousey doesn't come back, I say Sasha Banks. But if Ronda Rousey does come back, I say Ronda Rousey. Then again, knowing their day, they're probably going to have Charlotte win and have her pick Sasha Banks instead of having Sasha Banks win. Men's, this one is hard to call. Seth Roman limit draw 1 hour Broadway. Lita all the way. I honestly thought it kind of was be Lita, but not anymore. For men's, Big E wins the Royal Rumble. See, that's the thing though. Big E should be facing Lesnar at a Royal Rumble because he deserves a rematch. But if Drew McIntyre wasn't out with an injury, I would have said Drew. I'm just gonna go with Big E because I don't know who. I guess it depends on the outcome of the matches of Lesnar and Lashley and Reigns and Rollins. So, okay, Raw Women's Championship match: Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. Easy. This one's easy to call. Becky Lynch. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Really, that's all the matches? I thought there'd be more. Edge and Beth Phoenix. I think those are pretty easy to call. Watch WWE make almost win the Rumble if he is not winning. If he is not, he is winning the Chamber. Becky wins. Yeah. Sorshio said that too. Almost would win. But then who would he face? See, that's the thing though. Almost, who would he win? If Almost wins, I'd have to say Lashley would take the title off Lesnar. Unless they send Almost to NXT and he faces Braun Breaker. But I don't know. Those 3 matches are kind of hard to call. I think we're gonna have to wait and see as to until we get one of the matches played out first. It's really hard to call. Check your other comment. Edge and Beth, yeah. What if Austin Theory won? Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. I think it's too early for Austin Theory to win. I'd say maybe in the next 1 to 2 years he'll win. I don't know. I think it's too soon to give him the title. Way too soon. Honestly. I really do. But I want to hear some of your guys' predictions. What do you guys think are going to win the Royal Rumble matches, respectively? The 2 easiest matches here to call: Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice, and the Raw Women's Championship match. Those are too easy. I really don't want to see Bianca win the Raw. Me neither. Hart or nor Liv Morgan. I honestly don't want to see them win. Might do a watch along. Ooh, okay, Steve. Well, I'll definitely be there if you do. But with that being said, that concludes this show. That concludes tonight's show. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and of course for your continued support. Lesnar will win the Rumble. He will finally get a way into it. Oh, I didn't even think about that. But see, in order for that to happen, he has to lose against Bobby Lashley. He has to lose. I mean, well, that happened in 2018. That happened with Becky Lynch. She lost against Asuka, and then she ended up winning. Peace, like and sub. Rampage was a 6 out of 10. Yeah, Steve said 6 out of 10 too. Oh well, like I said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you guys all for your continuing support. Help me get to 400 subscribers, please. And you can do so by liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Royal Rumble, and I'll be joined by a very special guest, someone who went MIA for a little while, and they're back. So I'll see you guys. Stay tuned for that. Good night. Bye.